Well, howdy there, Internet students. If you're watching this video, then you're wanting to retake the 5.2 test. This is all about finding the volume of prisms and cylinders. So we'll go over that one at a time. First of all, let's define what prisms are and see if we can't figure out which ones of these are prisms. Prisms have two congruent, which means the same, two congruent and parallel faces. Let's call them bases. Okay, and the sides or the other surfaces are rectangular. So let's say connected by rectangles. All right, so of all of these, first of all, you need to have two congruent parallel bases. So if you look at this one here, you can tell that the bottom would be exactly the same as that. And all the sides are rectangles. So that one is a prism. Okay, on the second one here, you can kind of tell that the bottom would be exactly the same as this top. So it has two parallel congruent bases. And these are all rectangles around the outside. So this one is. This one, the base does not have a parallel congruent base for it. And also the sides are triangles, not rectangles. This one is round, so it doesn't have two congruent bases. Well, other thing I should say is the bases are always polygons in prisms. So C and D are not. All right, so you get to pick which of these solids are prisms. All right, I'm going to continue down here. How do you find the prism volume? You're going to use one formula for all of these when you're finding the volume. It's big B, which is base area. So you have to find the area of the base and then times the height. With a rectangular prism, you can probably think of the base as, remember it's the two congruent faces, but you can think of it as the top and the bottom. So we're going to find separately, first of all, we're going to find the area of the base. And then we're going to decide what the height is, and then we're just going to multiply those. Okay, so on this, the part that I shaded red there, it's 11 by 3. So that base area, since it's a rectangle, we just do 3 times 11, which is 33. And then the height is the other dimension that goes between the bases, which is this line right here, between the top and the bottom, which is 4.6. So we're going to do our base area, which was 33 times 4.6. 33 times 4.6 equals 151.8 cubic centimeters. So you're counting cubes when you're doing volume. How many cubes fit inside? All right, so you can go ahead and do a couple like that. Find those volumes. All right, on the next page, we're going to find the volume of cylinders. Again, we're going to use this formula, base area times height. Now, with a cylinder, the base is a circle, so to find that area, you're going to do pi times the radius squared. Make sure you know what the radius is. I'm going to do this one because we have to do something to get the radius first. That 10 centimeters you see there is actually the diameter. So the radius would be 5. So the area of the base is pi times the radius squared. I'm going to go ahead and do that on my calculator. 3.14 times squared equals 78.5. And then you have to figure out what the height is. The height is, remember, it's between the bases. So that would be 9. So I'm going to take my 78.5 times 9. And I get 706.5. And that would be centimeters cubed, cubic centimeters. All right, so you do the rest of those cylinders. All right, the other kind of prism we should be able to find the area of is a triangular prism. Again, you have to find the area of the base. Volume equals area of the base. That's what big B is, times the height. The height, both the triangle and the prism have a height. This is the prism height. Okay, the height of the prism is between the two bases, so that would be 16. Okay, the area of the base for a triangle is base of the triangle times the height of the triangle divided by 2. So I need to use 9 from this triangle here times 3 divided by 2. 9 times 3 is 27, divided by 2 is 13.5. Okay, so that's the area of my base. Now I just have to multiply the area of the base times the height. So 13.5 times 16. And that's 216. In this case, it would be cubic meters. All right, so you can go ahead and do a couple of triangles, triangular prisms. Okay, now one thing on this one, I'll just caution you. The height of the prism is the distance between those two parallel triangular bases. So be careful on that. All right. Last thing we're going to do is if you're given a volume and you know part of the information, can you find the other information? So again, we're using volume equals the base area times the height. And in this case, we're going to have to backtrack. We're given the volume, so 740 goes where the V is. And we're given that the area of the base is 37, and we want to find the height. So now I have to backtrack. I'm going to do 740, and I'm going to divide because it's multiplication here. So when you backtrack, you do the inverse. So I'm going to do 740 divided by 37 to get that height. And that's 20. And that would be inches since our volume was given in cubic inches. All right, so you can go ahead and do a couple of those, and then when you get all that done, email me a nice clear copy of your work, and if it looks good, I'll get that retake test to your parents. Good luck with that.